Alright, let's get this show on the road. This is actually a bit of a test stream actually too, because I just don't like the limitation the PS4 gives me when I'm making videos to go ahead and upload. So I'm just gonna do it on on YouTube, and that should make my life easier because of that I won't have any limitations and I can just freestyle it if I have to. Anyway, let's get to it. It's your boy Densuo. I'm the saltiest guy in all of Gundam. And I'm going to be doing a rundown about the custom parts in Gundam Battle Operation 2. The entire goal of this video is, of course, to save you some DP if you're a newer player just getting into the game, or even if you're a veteran who hasn't really bought a lot of custom parts and you're looking to make intelligent choices, then this is what I'm aiming to do here to make it useful for you. So let's go ahead and get to it. We're going to go over everything just piece by piece, top to bottom. Instead of just straight up going, hey, these are the most important ones and whatever. I think it'll be better that way and it'll be easier for me. And also, since I'm doing it via stream, I'll be able to go ahead and give you examples of why certain parts I feel are better than others when it comes to comparisons and things of that nature. So we're going to go to the database because it'll be easier to access everything there. I do want to say one more thing about that though before I get started. This is personal opinion. I don't claim to be the end-all be-all when it comes to this game. So, you know, think for yourself when it comes to that. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with custom parts on the attack portion first. Before anything else, you're going to notice that attack parts for enhanced firing program and enhanced melee program are all readily available in the DP store. So feel free to buy them when they come up. These are all perfectly fine to purchase. These are safe buys, if you ask me. When it comes to the enhanced firing program and the enhanced melee program, they're self-explanatory. Enhanced firing program increases your range damage. Enhanced melee program increases your melee damage. There's really nothing to go into as far as this. Get them, they're perfectly worth it. Use them. Nothing fancy. The only difference here between the enhanced firing program and melee program is that the level 4 firing program takes up one more medium range slot than the melee one. Other than that, they're pretty much exactly the same in what they boost. And again, they're all available through the store. You can see right there that you need to be a certain rank and a certain level, and then of course have to need a DP. Again, perfectly safe. Buy them all. We're going to go to defense next. I'm going to go from top to bottom to keep it easy. So defense consists of anti-beam armor, anti-melee armor, anti-ballistic armor, HP parts, and shield parts. So we'll start with anti-beam. So anti-beam, again, self-explanatory. It increases your resistance to beam attacks. There's 3 types of damage: beam resistance, which is again beam weapons; ballistic defense, which is for things like bazookas, machine guns; and then melee resistance, which covers all melee. It doesn't matter if it's a you know, the Ifrit Nox cold blades or Jim's beam saber. It doesn't matter that one of them looks like it's ballistic and one of them looks like it's beam. That's just melee. Ballistic and beam defense is not going to buff your defense against that. It's specifically melee resistance. So anti-beam is going to of course raise your beam resistance to beam ranged weapons. I don't really suggest them. These are only going to be useful if your suit has a glaring weakness to beam resistance, but they do end up being more useful in mid to high cost matches, because that's when beam weapons really start to become commonplace. Usually in low rank, everyone's running around with bazookas and machine guns, and the only suits that really run beam weapons are either out of meta suits like the Zaku Sniper or the Jim Sniper, and then you have, you know, decent suits in those costs like the Jim Cannon, which can use the beam spray gun, the Jim Light Armor, which has the stripped beam rifle or the beam spray gun again, and also the Jim Sniper Custom. So you can consider that if you feel that you're going to be facing that. Otherwise, you're likely better off going with the beam resistance, or excuse me, ballistic defense ones. The anti-beam armor and the anti-ballistic armor all take up the same amount of space depending on level. They usually use long range and medium range slots, with the exception of the level 3, which takes up only long range, the level 4, which only takes up medium range, and then the level 5, which is both medium and long. All of them are available in the shop for DP, with the exception of the level 5, which you're only going to get either through gacha or most likely through the recycle ticket shop. I like the level 4 of the anti-beam and anti-ballistic most because they use medium slots, and medium slots tends to be the one that you're going to have the most left over on typical suits, especially suits that don't have shields. So keep that in mind there. Again, I don't think they're the best as far as the defense ones, but they're not too bad. I would purchase all of them when you get the chance, but they're not the priority. Melee, on the other hand, these are must-buys, especially the level 3, because it takes up 8 medium slots. Same thing I mentioned about before, about some suits not having shields, etc. This is the best one. The level 4 is a little too costly, and it's close range, which is kind of eh. And then same thing with the level 5. The level 1 and 2 are perfectly fine. You're definitely going to be able to fit them in, but the level 3 is miles away the best in my opinion. The reason why I recommend melee above anti-beam and anti-ballistic is because whereas some suits are going to specialize in beam damage or ballistic damage, every general and every range suit, every general and every raid is more than likely going to try to land melee on you. So because it's so commonplace, these are basically surefire defensive options. Again, 1, 2, and 3 are definitely must-buys. 4, not so much. 5 is is recycle ticket only right now. So definitely get the 1, 2, and 3 ASAP. These are imperative. These can make the difference between you getting blown up as a raid if you get caught, or as a support if a raid gets its hands on you. I'll give you an example. I do use this on the... Let me go over there real quick to this suit. I believe I still use it on the Goof Custom. In Goof Custom, I do use the anti-melee armor level 4 because I have slots to spare. As you can see, my resistance is level 4. It's 49 at melee resistance. So that actually helps me survive in the event that I make a mistake, get caught, and people try to melee the living daylights out of me. It does matter. Moving on from there, we're going to go to the HP parts. That covers the new model frames and also the strengthened frames. All of these, all of these parts except for the level 5 defense ones, and then the level 1 strengthened frame, which you get either you start off with it or automatically when you start a game, or you get it through Lieutenant's training, I believe. Either or, you're going to get it immediately. All of these are available in the DP shop. You can't go wrong with them. The DP, the HP, you can't go wrong with it. It's a perfectly safe safe pick, and I would recommend buying them all. Not so much the new model frame level 2. It's a little expensive for what it is, but the level 1 is a must-have. Definitely get it immediately, and you can't go wrong with the other strengthened frames. The 5 is a piece I like to use a lot. The 4 also as well. The 1, 2, and 3, these are more tack on when you got space left over, but the 4, the 5, the new model frame level 1, definitely must-haves. They're great, they're useful, they do help. Of course, you can't go wrong with more bulk. If your suit already has high resistances, you're going to notice in this game that suits are either going to have great resistances and low HP, or they're going to have a lot of HP and crappy resistances. Very rarely do they have a bit of a healthy mix of both. So keep that in mind when you make your decision as to what you're going to customize. Or you can just go all in whatever it is. But I feel that when it comes to that, HP usually wins out, especially because of one other part that we're going to talk about later. Last but not least, we have the shield. Actually, no, excuse me. Last and least in the defense tab, we have the shield reinforcement. These are not good. These are only going to be used if you have slots to spare. That also being said, these only matter if your suit has an actual shield. Let's go back to the mobile suits, right? So let me give you an example. We have the Zaku Tsukai. As you can see on the Zaku Tsukai actually has a pauldron, like a shield kind of thing on its arm. That doesn't count. It's not there. It's not even on the skills either. For comparison, when I mention skills, look at the double Zeta. The double Zeta, for example, you have those arm things that it has. That looks like weird bent shields. If you look at the skills tab, it does have it there as special arms equipment buffer. So if you get hit there, it does reduce your damage. But the shield parts will not do anything there. If we look at the GP02 MLRS, for example, it has the radiator shield listed as a sub-weapon. If your shield is not listed in the sub-weapon tab for your suit, you do not have a shield, and shield parts will not help you. Cut and dry. speaking of which, let's go ahead and update that real quick because I do have this here. Actually, no. I have level 3 HP. I prefer more HP. I can equip the level 4. Awesome. Can't go wrong with it. At all. So, again, if your shield is listed in sub-weapon, it does count. Be sure to slap it on if you have slots to spare. Otherwise, skip. Let's go ahead and go back. So that covers all of the attack, that covers all the defense. Next, we're going to go ahead and get into the movement affecting ones. So for here, we have the high spec cruise control. I'm not a fan of it. It's the only one of its kind. It only increases your speed by 5. Let's go look at it, for example. And let's go ahead and pick a suit that's actually slow. An example of a suit as slow as dirt is the Juagu. The Juag has a movement speed of 85 and a top speed for boosting of 150. Thing is, this only increases your regular movement speed. It doesn't affect your boost speed, which is unfortunate. So, because of that, unless we're talking like the Juagu or the Gym Cannon, I believe it's a Gym Cannon 2. Let me check real quick. Yeah, there it is. It's a Gym Cannon 2. The Gym Cannon 2 is also pretty slow, but only on them would I honestly suggest that part. I don't think it's worth it otherwise, except maybe on them, because otherwise everybody else is fast enough. And even then, honestly, when you're on a support, you're more than likely going to be boosting, so it's not worth it. Oops. From there, we're going to have the thrusters. I like thrusters, specifically the level 1 and the level 2. They're not very expensive, and it's a pretty good buff for what they give. Supports are not going to really be using melee, so you can fit them in, and even then, high damage raids can likely spare them. These are great because it's going to increase the amount of time you can boost, and then on top of this, right, more time that you're spending boosting is more time you're taking advantage of your maneuver armor. So that can be the difference between you closing in, or you repositioning, or you getting away and relying on your maneuver armor to prevent you from being staggered and getting killed. The level 3 and the level 4 are a little more costly in slots, so these are a little harder to recommend, but the 1 and the 2 you can't go wrong with personally. All of these are available in the shop, and I highly recommend you get the 1, 2, maybe the 3 from the shop. These 2, not so much. An example of that, I believe I also do that on my group custom again. I use a level 2. I did try using it there with these on before on lower cost, on the lower cost versions, but personally on this suit I just use a level 2 because it's, like I said, it's easier to fit in, especially with everything else that this suit needs as far as defense and being able to stay alive. You know, these are great as a item to round it out, kind of like the shield. So yeah, again, level 1, level 2 thruster control, definitely grab them. They're totally worth it. Level 3 can be worth it for higher cost suits. Level 4 is a little bit of a hard sell. And high spec cruise control, because it's only a paltry 5. I mean, you're better off with that. You're better off just using the level 2 thruster. You're gonna get more out of the thruster than the high spec cruise control. Again, unless you're a Juagu or a Gym Cannon 2, I can't recommend this. It's not good. Next, we're going to go to the one that's going to probably take the most time to go over, and that's the auxiliary parts. These I have to give examples to tell you why I feel they're worth it or not. So we're going to start with AD-ASL. ASL stands for Automated Sight Leveling. So these increase the range, the size of your reticle. You're going to notice, and I'm going to show you in the practice mode, you're going to notice that some suits when they have their reticle, they're gonna have a second reticle, and that second reticle is going to let you do auto lock. So before I show you in the training, in the practice mode, I'm gonna just go ahead and say that I don't recommend this for anything with the exception of suits that have funnels or incoms. So the Zeong, the Kubele, the Saikomuzaku, the Bishop, those are going to take advantage of this because it's going to make it easier for you to lock on and use your incoms or funnels. The main benefit is for the rear funnel, the one that shoots behind them, because that one has a smaller reticle than the ones that are from the side, which are pretty easy to use. Nobody should really have trouble landing those, but the one from behind, those tend to be a little harder to use. So the other problem with this is they don't increase your damage, and the level 2, as you can see, is pretty big jump in cost. It goes from 1 medium to 4 long to a whopping 5 medium and 7 long. So it's a bit of a hard sell. But the Zeong, Kubele, those are high cost suits, so they can definitely field it. If you feel you're having trouble landing the rear funnel, definitely use it, especially when the rear one is overheat on use, and I believe it's also a stagger. You definitely want to be able to use it immediately and then go back to the one that you're going to be using the most, which is your side ones. So let me show you what I'm talking about as far as ASL real quick before I move on. Oh wait, I forgot I was offline. Whoops. That's a mistake. Oh well, this is fine. We're streaming, so as opposed to doing a video, so this will be a lot easier for me to do. Still kind of makes it look stupid though. Rip. Oh well, who cares? Ah man, curse you mistakes. Maybe I can edit that out later. I don't know. Silly me. I'm taking a sweet time today. That's weird. There we go. We're just going to go to the training ground. There is a mobile suit there for you to look at, so that'll make it a little easier for me to do this quickly. We're also going to go with a basic suit to help me prove my point about what I was showing you earlier. The Gym CD should be perfectly fine for this. Gym Cold Distils to be perfect for this. I'm not going to use the part because, again, the difference isn't that huge. I just want to show you how auto sight lock looks and how it works for this kind of suit, and then we'll go from there. So if you look at the screen, you're going to notice your main reticle, which is the one that's in green right now, or teal. And then you have a second reticle around it. So right here, I'm going to be shooting at the target. However, if you're off of them, you're going to notice that other little small reticle appears. So when that happens, you're automatically going to shoot center mass. As long as your target is within those two reticles, then you'll automatically aim towards center mass. The benefit is it makes your life a little easier with aiming. The disadvantage is if you're trying to aim for parts, you're not doing that. You have to aim specifically for the part. Because if I do this, it doesn't matter. It has to be center mass of the target. It has to be within the reticle for it to work. So this is fine for this weapon. It doesn't count for the beam saber, and it's huge for the head Vulcans. This is nice in space because you can get an extra angle. Especially if you're very agile, or if you're using a support which has aerospace gimbal, it'll give you higher angles and lower angles to be able to use it. But other than that, the only weapons that really have a large ASL are head Vulcans, and I'll show you the Kubele because it has funnels. The only other ones that have decent enough ASLs really tend to be some machine guns, which have an acceptable one, head Vulcans, which are usually great, and then funnel suits. I'll show you the Cubile real quick. As you can see here for the Kubile's beam gun, it doesn't have an ASL, unfortunately. For the side funnels, you'll see that here, you just have to have them in range. Same thing, center mast. Side funnel is decently sized. And then the rear one is actually pretty big, actually. It's a bit different for the Xiong. The Xiong has a smaller one, so my mistake there. But hey, good thing we checked so I can correct myself. Same thing, as long as you're within range, then you can fire it. So that's where ASL helps. With that in mind, looks like the Cubile might benefit from using ASL. So actually, let's go ahead and do that. So there you see the difference in size with the side funnel. So let's back out. Let's equip both ASLs, and then you'll see the difference. Go ahead and grab it on a second slot for this. Not really. Unfortunately, no, Blue. It's not going to be that big. Not that big of a difference, but it could be enough to where it'll be easier to land. I'll show the Xiong after this too to make it a little easier as well. So there we have the one for the rear, and then we have the side one. It's not that huge of a difference, but it is enough of a difference that I think it'll be a little easier to land it. Rear, it's basically free at this point. If I'm not mistaken, though, let me check real quick. I'm on range. Well, no, we don't. We can just look at the stats. But there you see the difference as far as how it makes a size. I believe the Xiong has more size on the side funnel as opposed to the rear. We're going to check that real quick. But it's not really that huge of a difference. But again, this is a game of inches. So we're going to go to space next. Well, let's go with this first, so I can show you first real quick. There you see the range of this too, 400 and 300. So 300, the rear one has less range on this one. So let's do that first real quick. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using YouTube to stream these videos whenever I make a review now, because it's better than the 15-minute limitation that you have when you're recording clips on YouTube. So there we have the rear, there we have the side. Yeah, my bad, I was wrong there. Side is the one that's easier to use. The of a cooldown. Like if you have to try to overheat the side funnels on this one, but then the rear one has less range. On the Kubele actually is better. No, excuse me. The Xeon is better. The Xeon is better with side funnels because it actually has a better cooldown, and it also overheats. It's impossible to overheat, honestly. I don't think I've ever overheated on the side incom with this one. But there you see the difference there in size. So let's try it with the ASL on. But yeah, that takes up a lot of space, man, for what it is. Like I said, it's not that big of a difference. Slightly noticeable, but it's there. Although I do think it's a little more, way more noticeable on the rear one, though. So there you have it. It does make life a little easier to do. But if you're at far enough range, then I do think it's going to be a bigger difference because of the fact that you're going to be so far away and the enemy's smaller, so it'll be easier to actually lock onto them. And then obviously, since this has less range, it'll be easier to maneuver the opponent and get the lock on with the rear one. So yeah, that covers that. Like I said, I'm only going to suggest this for incom/funnel suits. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And even then, you also have to take into account the cost. Alright, so we've covered the ASL. Let's continue with the auxiliary generator. Auxiliary generator is good for the Dom family of suits that have the chest stun gun. That would be the Paysan Douage, the Rick-Dom 2, any suit of those that have the little chest beam gun. These are great because you want to be able to have that weapon up as quickly as possible, because for some suits like the Paysan Douage, that'll enable you to loop. For the Dom Barrage, that allows you to land its main combo, which is to stun the chest beam gun into its missiles, not its main Gatling gun. That's just there for suppressive fire. And I also recommend it for the Gundam Unit 04 over the Precision Focusing Ring. So again, let's go into examples. Before anything else, I do want to mention everything here is also available in the DP shop, with the exception of the Precision Focusing Ring. This one right now is currently either gacha or recycle ticket only. But again, I don't really recommend it. Yes, it is. I'll show you why in a minute. Let's go look at Gundam Unit 4. So here we have Gundam Unit 4. This is what I run. I don't have the FA 7th armor, so I can't suggest it. If you look at Gundam Unit 4, right? I'm using the 3, 2, and 1, and my OCD is kicking in, so give me a second. Much better. So for the level 3 Gundam Unit 4, I do use 1, 2, and 3 auxiliary generators. So total 19% overheat reduction. So Hyper Beam Rifle. It's only subtracting 2.8 seconds. So what does that mean? Practice heat discipline. Now, the high mega launcher, it is 90 seconds if you overheat the mega beam launcher under normal circumstances. You're subtracting 17.1 seconds if you're using these three parts. Now, let's compare the focusing ring. Focusing ring is right here, same thing, 19% reduction. We're subtracting 1.9 seconds out of a 10-second charge. So what do you think is going to be worth more? Let's think about it for a second. If you're charging the mega beam launcher, you are likely positioned somewhere safe where you will have the time to get that 10-second charge. And then from there, you as a general, you have to get yourself to the front lines to go fight. So having the focusing ring cut down cooldown for your charge shots, again, from 5 seconds to 4.1. It's not that big of a deal. And it's also going to generate more heat, which is going to threaten you into going into overheat, because it's going to make it harder for you to practice heat discipline on your main weapon. So in this instance, I would recommend sticking to auxiliary generator on the unit 4, because you're subtracting 17.1 seconds off of the overheat, and that's enough of a difference to allow you to fire that weapon more than once. Landing this is very devastating as it is, and being able to fire it more than once in a life is actually great. So that's why I recommend the auxiliary generator over the precision focusing ring. The only suit that I can recommend the precision focusing ring is on a suit that I probably don't even use it on anymore, and that is the gun cannon 2. I don't think I use it on it anymore. No, yes I do, because this weapon is a 3-second charge. But the thing is, unlike the Gundam Unit 4, the gun cannon has to fire this a lot. So you're only going to be firing it once, and then you know, poking with the gun cannon beam rifle. So you'll fire one regular shot with the gun cannon beam rifle, and you're looking to land the beam cannon at every opportunity. So even though it's only a 0.6 second reduction, it's enough of a difference for me. Let's look at Gunner Gundam. I believe I have it at the 400 cost. There it is. I actually don't use it. Currently, right now, since I'm still getting used to it, I look to lower the cooldown, and I'm getting a 2.6 second reduction. The thing is, the weapon charges in 1.5 seconds. So what's the point? You're not gonna get much of a reduction on that. And look at how many slots it's taking, dude. You can't even use the level 2. You can only use the level 2 once you get the complex expansion slot. But right now, as it is, 13% reduction. You're taking 0.2 seconds off of the charge. It's not that serious. Can't suggest it. It's not worth it. The Gunner Gundam only has the beam rifle and then your regular head Vulcans, which you're probably not going to use. So if you do end up overheating, you're gonna need that thing to get off of overheat as quickly as possible. Going back, we have the cooling system. I don't like the cooling system, but some raid players do like the cooling system. I prefer the thruster parts over cooling system, because cooling system is way too expensive for what it is. Cooling system increases your recovery speed for your thruster gauge, whereas the thruster control system gives you more thrusters, so it makes that thruster bar last longer. So that's up to you, but personally, I find it easier to use thruster control system because it costs less. So yeah. Next we have field motor. Field motor is highly recommended, even though they're costly, especially the level 3. Oh my god. And the level 2 is kind of counterintuitive for range supports, but the level 1 is at least feasible, and they increase your turning speed. You can't go wrong with them with the support, because supports usually have slow turning speed as it is, and if they have a shield, like for example the Gym Cannon, it's even slower. So these are great because it can help you turn around faster, and on certain suits like the GP01, the GP01 is actually really good with it, in my opinion. It turns it into a flanking monster. The GP01, the one on ground, you have the beam rifle for insta stun, and then you have really good melee animations, especially the downswing, which is really fast. So you can use that with a turning motor, and you can get yourself in positions where you're just going to outmaneuver people and then get your melees. So I recommend it. I think it's great for supports, and I think it's something you can consider for certain generals and for certain raids. Force cooling, I have the same thought process as the cooling system. However, there is at least a niche for it. I would consider it for the GP01 full burner, which is the one for space, and for the Akzaku commander type. The reason being is because they both have the overboost skill, which once it ends, right, it lets you boost while you're overheated, but then once overboost ends, you trip and fall, and then you have 3 times the length of overheat. So 21 seconds versus 7 seconds. This is going to make a difference for 21 seconds, as opposed to it's not that big of a deal on 7 seconds. So consider it for those. I can't consider it for other suits because, again, it takes up way too much space. Precision focusing ring, we talked about it earlier. I don't think it's worth it at all. Auxiliary generator, in my opinion, is completely superior. Quick loaders. Quick loaders are great if your suit has to reload a lot. An example of that is GP02 MLRS. Gym Sniper 2, in my opinion, is worthless without them. If you're not using them on on Gym Sniper 2 with its sniper rifle, you're setting yourself up for failure. Let's go look at it. On GP02, I do run level 1, 2, and 3 loaders. Lowers the reload by 2.3 seconds on the main, and by 7.6 seconds on verts. Otherwise, you'd be stuck with a 12-second cooldown on your main weapon, a weapon that you're going to be reloading a lot because it's only 6 shots. And another one which is 6 ammo, but technically 2 shots if you fire them into 3-shot volleys without switching too fast. It's 40 seconds. The difference is substantial. So 7.6 out of 40. That's every 5 reloads, you're getting 1 for free. And then for the... You're basically taking off almost a third on MLRS, on the main weapon. Can't go wrong with it. For the Gym Sniper 2... I'll go find it real quick. The Gym Sniper 2 needs it as well, because it's really the only weapon that it has to use other than the clumsy grenades. And you're taking off with the level 3 and level 1, you're only taking off 2 seconds. But again, it's 6 shots. You keep doing this, you're gonna be getting a lot of reloads. So I can't recommend it enough. You're gonna need it. If you go full reload, for example, then that shaves off about 3 seconds. So every 5 reloads, you're getting basically a free reload every 5 reloads, technically. Oops again. And that covers all the auxiliary parts. Again, everything but the level 3 precision focusing ring is available in the shop. And we already mentioned how the precision focusing ring isn't even all that. So it's a quick recap. ASL, only for incom/funnel suits. Auxiliary generator, 100% worth it. I forgot to show the DOMs. Let's look at the Rictom 2, for example. Rictom 2 does have the stun gun. I'm using the 4, 3, and the 1. You're taking off 2.8 seconds off of it, off of a normally 10-second reload. So you're taking about 30% off of its reload. So this is worth it because you're going to be using this a lot. So I highly recommend it. This suit is made for stuns, So you have 3 different stun weapons, so you can't go wrong with it. Highly recommended on the Rick Dom 2 and the rest of the Dom family that does use them. I like them personally. That applies again to the Paysan Douage. I use on the Paysan Douage. Same thing, slapping off 2 seconds off of it with the 1, 2, and 3 loader. With the 1, 2, 3 auxiliary generator, excuse me. In the event that you slip on your on your heat discipline for the beam bazooka, same thing, is going to slap off almost 5 seconds off of your reload. Because I don't know about you, but 24 seconds, that's a lot. Let's find out. Also, same thing with the Dom Barrage. Dom Barrage really is going to take advantage of it. So you can consider it too. Let me check. I don't use it on the H set, but let's check. This is what, 18-second reload? Yes, it does. It is for that. Thing is, the Dom HSET doesn't really have many slots to spare on that angle. And since you want to get that melee damage, because its melee damage isn't that high, you're gonna have to use that last slot probably either for HP or for leg armor, which we both know we all need. So it's kind of hard to really use it on that. Honestly, I don't even use it. I don't even use the flash bomb personally. I just boost in, hit the bazooka, land the melee, leave. So that's personal preference. That covers everything. Let's continue. Last but not least, we have the special parts. So database link is perfectly fine if you have sufficient damage. If your damage is not high enough, use more enhanced firing programs or enhanced melee programs. Only use the database links if you already have significant good damage on your suit. Because this is only going to give you more damage on part breaking, not they're going to die damage, not actual HP. They do stack. And since I did mention that just now, everything here that I've shown you so far, all of these stack. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because the last parts that we have to cover do not. Database link, I'm only going to suggest that if you have a suit that excels at breaking parts, or where you're going to have chances to break parts. So Douage Custom can probably do that. Even though I don't recommend the suits, the Jim Sniper, the Zaku Sniper should be very good at busting parts, because low-cost suits don't really have good beam resistances, and since they have beam weapons that hit pretty hard, then they should be able to take advantage of the database link to potentially bust people's legs in one shot, especially if they're stupid and not using leg armor. Special back armor. I have yet to use special back armor in the game the entire time I've played this game. It's worthless. These are only for space. They do not stack, so only use one. But the thing is, if you have your back to the enemy in space, you're probably dead. Cut and dry. You're probably dead. Or you're probably going for a bomb attempt or something like that. But more likely than not, you're rarely going to get hit in the back. And if you do, you're probably a goner anyway. So there's no point. For the sake of information, if you do have your back broken, you are permanently in overheat, and your movement is slowed to a crawl. So get the hell out of your suit, do some repairs real quick so you can get moving, because otherwise you're about as worthwhile as somebody in a ball. Special head armor is only going to be used on Jiwagu, because Jiwagu is basically one big head anyway. Everybody else doesn't need it. If your head gets broken, you lose your radar, and you also lose ASL if your suit has ASL. So be careful with that. Last but not least, we have the part in the game that I'm going to be recommending the absolute most. Everything I've told you so far is more or less an opinion, but this is a unarguable fact. I don't care what anybody tells you. You will buy special leg armor level 1, level 2, level 3, and as soon as more high cost suits appear, also the level 4. They're all available in the shop. and they're available pretty early. You will buy them. There's two reasons why. One, these are going to prevent you from having your legs broken. Everyone and their mom is going to aim for your legs, because bazookas have blast radius and they can hit your legs, and also because snipers are likely going to hit that anyway to try to cripple you. You getting crippled in ground missions, you may as well be dead. You're more useful when your suit destroyed and you running around on foot trying to use support fire than you running around with broken legs. You're useless as a raid. If your legs are broken, your walking is slow to a crawl. If you boost, you fall. If you jump, you fall. If your load is too high, if you boost and it goes over, you fall. If you jump and you land, you fall. So this is going to save you. You have to use the highest level that your suit can accommodate. Let me give you an example again. Oops. Let's go to one of my personal favorite suits to do custom. I tried this, and with this, my legs would get broken every time. Ignore the extra slots. This is probably pretty much what I used to use on the level 4. But if you use the level 2 legs, your legs are gonna get broken. I have to use the level 3. If I use the level 3, I have the level 3. I'm rocking 49 melee resistance, which is 1 point off of the max. And if I get jumped, chances are I'm not gonna have my legs broken. This will allow me to stay in the back and harass, not get my legs broken by people. Like I said, whatever is the highest level of leg armor you can equip, you have to equip it. There's also another benefit about this that we didn't talk about. Special leg armor scales with your HP. So as you see here, this increases your leg HP from 60% of your natural total HP to 65. This is to 70, this is to 80, and this is to a whopping 90%. So these are going to save you from getting your legs broken. I guarantee you, this is going to save you from getting your legs broken. I guarantee you, this is going to win you matches. This is going to win you matches. Guaranteed. You as a raid being able to not have your legs get broken so you can get in and knock down and kill the support, or to use your maneuver armor to escape, etc., or just to be a general and to survive in the front lines long enough to where you're going to be able to get the full use out of your HP. Because it doesn't matter how tanky you are, if your legs get broken, you're a sitting duck. You're an easy target. The minute anybody sees your legs are broken and you're basically just limping along, everyone's going to smell blood, you're going to get vultured, you're dead. So please, 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 if you listen to anything in this video, buy special leg armor level 1, 2, 3. Matter of fact, I'm going to go buy the level 4 right now, even if I'm not using it, because I know eventually I'm going to. Go buy that sucker right now. Give me that. There we go. I'm going to follow my own advice. So yeah, that basically covers everything about parts. Hopefully this will help you guys make informed decisions about which ones you should use and which ones you should buy, because they're all readily available. So the last thing I want y'all to do, because here's the thing, right? It doesn't matter if you're free to play or if you do spend on this game. All of these are purchased through DP, with the exception of the precision firing ring, which sucks, and the level 5 of the defense parts. So every time you spend DP on these things, if you buy the bad parts, you're gonna set yourself back. So that covers everything. If I had to make a quick TLDR version of which parts to buy: enhanced firing program, enhanced melee program, get them all. Defense, anti-melee level 1, 2, and 3. New model frame level 1. All the strengthened frames, all of them. Thruster level 1, thruster level 2, maybe thruster level 3. For auxiliary, please get field motor 1. Get the auxiliary generators 1, 2, and 3 at least. All 4 loaders. Excuse me, 1, 2, and 3. Level 4 is recycle ticket only, and even then I'd skip it anyway. You get the 1, 2, and 3 reloaders. Special parts, consider database link if you're constantly aiming for legs. you will buy all 4 special leg armors. So yeah, there's no way I could have done all of this description and showing of examples in 15 minutes. So this is a bit of a lengthy video, but hopefully it is useful to everybody. So please take to heart what I gave you. If anything, just at least get the special leg armor. It's going to help you. They will win you matches. I seriously doubt anybody who knows anything about this game will refute the special leg armor. These are your first priority after getting some HP and whatever current enhanced firing and enhanced melee program is available. Do not spend recycle tickets on these parts. These are all available in the DP shop. Just get them via DP. So yeah, that covers everything. Hopefully this helps you guys out. If you have any feedback, you can leave a comment on this video. See you guys in the battlefield. 6 on.